Hello everybody, I am Raw Toast and welcome back to another First Impressions and Review. Today we are discussing Crucible. Crucible is a third-person team-based shooter developed by Relentless Studios and published by Amazon Games. Relentless Studios is the same developer that made Save Our Souls, which wasn't exactly a very good game to say the least, but I'm not one to judge too quickly, and that game was from a few years ago. Crucible was developed in the Amazon Lumberyard game engine, which has been developed by Amazon themselves after it was based on the CryEngine. The initial release for Crucible is the 25th of May 2020 on Steam, and it is free. Crucible at the time of its launch has 3 separate game modes, each offering a different player experience. Those modes are called Heart of the Hives, Alpha Hunters, and Harvester Command. The objective in Heart of the Hives is 2 teams of 4 need to compete against each other to destroy 3 monster hives and collect their hearts. The first team to collect 3 hive hearts wins the match. Respawns take longer in this mode, so the team fights are much more important and can make or break a match. In Alpha Hunters there are 8 teams of 2 and the last man standing wins. No respawns, no second chances. But a cool feature is that if you lose your teammate you can buddy up with another solo player. That truce is intact until the final 3 players, then you need to fight everyone to win. Harvester Command is very similar to Domination and other shooter titles. Hold as many of the 5 objectives and get kills. The first of the 2 teams of 8 who reach the score limit first wins. Respawns are much faster in this game mode than Heart of the Hives and offers a much more of an arcadey experience. At the time of launch, there are 10 different characters you can pick. None are locked behind level or paywalls. They each have their own weapons and abilities which can turn the tide of a team fight very quickly if used correctly. There is tons and tons of customization options for each character, from skins to new voice lines, although for the most part they are locked behind a paywall. You can unlock stuff for the character you are playing on by leveling up as well. The game does have a cash shop, but from what I can see, thankfully, it is only cosmetics, so it isn't a pay-to-win game, so let's be grateful for that. Crucible is actually the first game published by Amazon Studios that has currently been released, so this is very exciting, and my expectations for this game were reasonably high, to say the least. After taking some time and playing the game for a good chunk of time, playing the game modes and playing several different characters, I've got this. These are my final thoughts on the game, both pros and cons list, overall thoughts and a score. On the pros list, good tutorial. This is kind of a weird thing to say, but the tutorial was pretty clear. It showed every objective you would need to do, and it was quick to get through. It took maybe 5 minutes, so I'm very actually happy about that. It showed me how to play the game well. No pay-to-win elements. For a free game, that is honestly a rarity, it seems like, this day and age. Everything that seems to come out that's free will have some form of pay-to-win elements, where it's extra XP, better guns, or whatever it may be. So currently, from what I can tell, it doesn't have anything of that. Everything is voice acted. I actually love that about games, especially big games, when they take the time to actually get voice actors in to do all that stuff. It helps immersion and makes it seem much better. Good amount of characters to start. The game was released with 10 characters. I think for an initial launch of 10 playable characters for a game like this, I think that's very, very good. Offers a whole bunch of different playstyles, and all the characters are unique from each other. If it was like 4 characters, I'd have been pretty annoyed. And if it was more than 10, it may seem like it's a bit too much to handle, but still, it wouldn't have been a bad thing. But 10, I think, is a good, solid number. On the cons, skins are expensive. The cheapest skin I saw was $7.50 Australian. I'm sorry, even if it is a free game, minimum $7.50 for a skin is too much. I don't like that. I think it's too much. I think make it $5, make it $2. I'm sorry, but I don't care if it's free. That's still expensive. No vaulting. In shooters, we've progressed so far, so very far. Jumping is one of the most important things in these games, apart from moving and shooting. And the fact that I can't vault into things, it's super annoying. I genuinely don't like that. Fairly generic game. The game, honestly, it's pretty generic. It's nothing revolutionizing, it's nothing groundbreaking, and it's nothing that hasn't been done before, and honestly done better before. unbalanced. The game is unbalanced. Certain champions clearly are the dominant strategy in the game. That needs fixing quickly if they want to maintain a good, healthy player base with different playstyles. Needs optimization. This game is not well optimized, it doesn't run as smoothly as it could or it should, and I feel like it's been rushed. Aside from pinging, there is no communication, there is no voice chat, there is no text chat. That is terrible. Why would you have a game in 2020 that is a team-based shooter that needs a moderate amount of communication to not actually give the players the options to use these communication devices? I would have been happy with text chat. At least that's something. Quickly type enemy here or whatever, Obviously, ideally, I like voice chat, but the fact it doesn't have either is terrible. The combat is okay. It's okay, but it's really unsatisfying. It doesn't feel impactful to kill an enemy or shoot an enemy, and it's not satisfying. It just doesn't feel that good. Feels like it's just there, if you know what I mean by that. Overall, nothing about this game actually makes it stand out from other team-based competitive shooters. It's honestly like a dulled-down mashup of The Cycle and Overwatch. Apparently in Australia, the ping is not that good, so the game gets very, very difficult to say the very least. But when I did have good ping, I did well. But it's kind of like a 50-50 sort of scenario. For me, this is a generic shooter that hasn't done anything original, hasn't revolutionized the genre, and it hasn't even mastered the tried and true practices that it does feature. And after about an hour and a half of playing, you've basically experienced everything the game actually has to offer. I honestly really wanted to love this game. It looked fun, the trailers were great, it looks just like a cool game, but it's average, it's just generic, and other titles have done this so much better, such as The Cycle. The Cycle was a very, very good game. So for me, it's a very, very average game, which could be something great in the future if they keep working on it. But right now, it just feels like an early access indie title, and that's genuinely upsetting to say, especially when it's being published by Amazon. So for me, it's a 5 out of 10. It's average, it's not great, and I probably won't go back to it until some considerable changes have been made, including optimization and more things to do. Still, everyone, that is everything from me. I know it's kind of a shame. I was generally hoping it'd be so much more than this, but yeah, it is what it is. Still, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and please have a lovely day.